Another morning on the Har Habayt, and very peaceful, and we're so happy to be in the land of Israel. It's very important settling the land, and the early pioneers that came in the late 1880s and so forth, and established a nation for us in 1948. They were doing Hashem's will. They were doing the great mitzvah of settling the land and possessing it. And Hashem says, that's a commandment in the Torah. You shall settle the land and possess it. But Hashem also has a promise in the Torah. He says, I will give you the land. And there's two parts to that. And how can we look at the two parts? In 1948, our enemies attacked us for taking the courage to settle the land and exercising our sovereign rights over the land. And what happened is, during that time, 700,000 left the land of them. And also, the Jews in the Middle Eastern lands and North Africa were persecuted during those years, just before and just after 48, during all that time. And there used to be 1 million Jews living in the Middle Eastern lands. And they were all thrown out, and 700,000 came to live in Israel. So in other words, in the first few years of our existence, there was a demographic shift of 1.4 million people. 700,000 sons of Ishmael departed, and 700,000 Jews came in, and now we had a nation. Because if that didn't happen, there probably wouldn't be a nation today. Now here we are today. We're in a similar situation. The Jews occupy Israel, and many Jews are living in Judea and Samaria. But the sovereignty hasn't been established over the land, and it has to come from the top. In other words, we're settling the land, but still the governing authorities have to say, hey, it's our land, and exercise Israeli law and possess the land and build and plant everywhere. And what will happen? Because today there's just as many Jews, in fact there's more Jews living in Judea and Samaria and East Jerusalem today than there was at the founding of the state. So if there was enough in the founding of the state to form a nation, we have that many in Judea and Samaria. So then we can know something. If we just do the will of God and we settle the land and possess it, we just do what we have to say. It's our land, it's our sovereign nation, it's our sovereign land. The governments say that, just like they did in 1948. Then we'll have the help of Hashem. If we exercise our rights over the land, then God will keep his part of the promise to give us the land. But we have to show him that we love the land, and not be afraid of what the nations say. Of course they'll threaten us. But the end result is, it will all be our land, and God will do a miracle for us. And those who oppose us in Judea and Samaria will exit the land in the way that God chooses. Whether they want to leave or some other way, but God will give us the land, because he gave this land to the people of Israel so he can build a kingdom. And that's why we're walking here in the Har Habayt, and we want God's house. It's the most important component in his kingdom, because he's our king. Hashem is our king. Har Habayt. And his throne will be there very soon. May you have a beautiful, wonderful day. Thank you for listening. All the best.